tools that you have with the publisher. And but yeah, I love eating up smaller publishers' work or what they put out for like you guys and your fellow creators. But yeah,
it's kind of like the same reason that people like to watch college football, because it's like those people are the hungriest, right? Like they have the most to prove, you know.
It's exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah. And like, even like, again, like I don't watch sports at all. So I'm really reaching with this analogy, but like, it would be really cool to find somebody like in the college years and then watch them get picked up in, you know, in the NFL, and then just to see where their career goes. And that's how I feel. You know, I'm excited to see that with you, with our buddy, Jonathan Hedrick, who we had on, like all these indie guys. I'm very excited to see what the future has for everybody. And I also wanted to say that our good buddy, our good pal, Just Inc. Said Cover the Dead with Lime is sick. And I agree.
Literally.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah. So where does Cover the Dead with Lime come from for you? Like, is this like something that you had written a while back, like maybe as a movie at first, and then you turned it into a comic, or is this an original comic idea?
Yeah, it's actually based on a movie script idea. I think I wrote it in, I think it was 2009 or 10. And at the time, there was just so many zombie things, like so many zombie movies. And I think the good thing about Walking Dead was at the time, even though it kind of dwindled at the end, the good thing at the time with Walking Dead was it was kind of like, you know, we're a TV series, and we're the official zombie, you know, story now. You know, forget all these other movies and whatever's going on. And there was the odd ones here and there, like Train to Busan, that was absolutely fantastic. So just when you thought, like, you know, oh, it's all been done, it's all been done, it's all been done. Then Train to Busan was like absolutely phenomenal. And then like Walking Dead just became like the name for zombie stuff. And all of a sudden, so finally, it kind of put an end to just the derivative generic bullshit of just, I think people just cashing in on, you know, like I don't have a problem with anyone. I mean, I want people to be independent, make independent movies and comics and stuff like that. But just, you know, if you're an artist, just try to bring something different, you know? So I was happy, I think, that when COVID was kind of happening, I just thought, I was thinking, you know, it's really, you know, claustrophobic, and we're all going through all this right now and everything. And I was thinking, you know, I should maybe dig up that zombie story. And I was thinking, you know, this still hasn't been done. It's all these years later, and it still hasn't been done in this way. And I think that's what there's a guy, CJ, who's with But Why Though reviews and stuff, and he mentioned that I brought something different with The Boy Who Conquered a Mountain because it's like a Knight's Tale, but it was Asian. And then he also mentioned that with Cover the Dead with Lime, that just when you thought that, you know, the zombie things have all been done, you know, there's this story which is completely different in a way, and it's bringing it completely different environment. And I just love the fact of how far back it goes, that there really was, you know, bubonic plague. If you look at, you know, just typical zombie movie, like straight away, immediately, Night of the Living Dead, they all look like plague victims, you know. So it makes sense. They kind of had this unique story where the idea was, the concept was, what if there was an alternate reality where the bubonic plague didn't just kill people, but it actually was the beginning of a zombie outbreak. And that could, you know, actually, you know, extends out. And then you've got this circumstance of the time they're living in, you know, it's already an awful time, you know, like people are dying at a very young age anyway. Just
and it's post Black Plague, right? Like, so Black Plague already had happened, and now here comes what seems to be another one. But
and just on that, like, I think it's really cool to see things like, you don't get to see zombie stories. This is the only one that I can think of that takes place not in modern times.
Yeah.
You know, like everything. I love, like, why would we think that we're the only people that get zombies? Like, of course, like other people would, like, if it's just an illness or what have you, like other people throughout time would have that as well. So I think that's brilliant that you're bringing in, like, the actual, like, let's set this somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And then real quick, you mentioned CJ. from what? Sorry, what is it? But why though? He's somebody's articles that I read, and what I quoted earlier that he wrote that. So shout
he
out to
wrote that
CJ.
one, right? I knew it was. I knew it was. I thought it was either him or Jeremy from another website. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love him. He's a really nice guy too. He's a really nice guy.
On. Awesome. But yeah, so back to Cover the Dead though. But man, I like love this story. So we got Dr. Teller. It is.
Yes, Dr. Jack Teller. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't want to like spoil. I know like you got issue 4 is coming out soon, but the first 3 are out. They're all fantastic, and I don't want to spoil the story for anybody who hasn't read it. But Dr. Jack Teller essentially goes through a crisis in this plague, and kind of loses everything he has, but he's a doctor and he can help. And in a way, like he kind of reminds me of a Batman type character.
Yes.
But then you also get, your classic zombie fighter guys that, like, yes, The Walking Dead. I'm trying to think of it's not, Bruce Campbell's characters. Yeah.
Without
like,
the humor, but yeah.
And it's just like the way that he, like, the opening story is just fantastic. Like, I guess, that one's been out for a while, so we can talk about that one, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go. Yeah.
But just the plague comes a year later. He's in the plague suits, looking like a bird. And Ash. Thank you, Justin.
It's Just Ink. What are you doing, everybody?
Just Ink 27. But just, kind of like, I love the process too throughout the series so far of just going back to like the memory of, but then in his present situation, and just you see how jaded he is by everything that's going on, jaded by other plague doctors. But then also just when he goes to this first, I guess, client's house that you introduce us to, and she's like, my daughter's sick, we couldn't find a heartbeat, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, there's nothing we can do. And he goes in and like kills this zombie girl. And it was just such like a real like opening of just Teller doesn't care anymore. He knows what needs to be done, and he's going to do it because he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to get rid of this plague. And
right. Yeah, he's just numb. He's just numb at this point. I think the original intention was, as a doctor, was to help people, and I think he is still going from place to place. He was called in this particular place to help the sick, but now this is the thing, because there's times that they're living in, he's not only the job of being the doctor, but he's also the executioner as well. Father Merrin, that's right. I know who Justin is now. He's saying about the Exorcist. It wasn't intended at the time to be that way, but it does have like a very kind of Exorcist moment about it when he's walking in, the door opens and she's standing there.
It's such a creepy panel too.
The art definitely does a fantastic job of like displaying the rot of like like letting it know that there's like infection, like
it's muddy, it's gross.
This is Hernán Gonzalez does the art. Damien Fate does the colors, and Drew Lenhart does the lettering. It's like one of those things where I've done, as you've read, all kinds of different horrors, but this one is like, man, this is going to be the goriest one I've ever done. You just tell it's going to be.